Hello, everyone, and I'm super excited to have a. Sorry, what is the role exactly for you in Iceland Innovation Week?
Creative director of
Yes,
Iceland Week.
amazing. I'm very excited to have a creative director of Iceland Innovation Week today telling us all about this year's event. Melkorka, how are you?
I am very good. We are in the final meters of organizing everything, so I am stressed but good. The
Yeah, I
best
can.
yeah before the festival.
Absolutely, yeah, I can totally imagine like all these like last minute tasks that come up that you could never imagine. But how's the feeling? How are you preparing for the
Well, I
event?
think the feeling is great. This is going to be our biggest event to this date. I mean, of course, it's great. We're doing this now for the fifth time. So, and we are always the same team that's doing this event. So there's a lot of knowledge within the team of how to do things, and I can really feel it this year that we almost read each other's minds at the moment, which is great. So we are keeping it together, and then there are of course plenty of X factors, and we will just solve them when they come up.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. But yeah, let's keep our listeners up to speed and talk about Iceland Innovation Week in general. What is this conference all about, and why is it so special?
So first of all, we like to not talk about ourselves as a conference. We like to say that we are a festival because we are an umbrella for many different events hosted by all of our partners. And then we do so side events take place throughout Monday, throughout Friday, and then we have our own 2-day program Wednesday and Thursday on site for festival pass holders. And the reason why we started Iceland Innovation Week is because me and my founder, my co-founder Edda, we had been traveling to different startup events for quite a few years before that, and we felt that Iceland was missing its own startup festival. We wanted some kind of a platform where Icelandic startups and Icelandic investors could actually say to people that they meet abroad, come to Iceland for this time of the year, and here you can see what's happening in Icelandic innovation and make new connections and hopefully enjoy a little bit of Icelandic nature at the same time. So that's how it all started, and this is kind
Wow.
of exploded. We have over 60 different side events taking place throughout the week. We have about 50 investment funds coming, and we have about 1,000 guests that attend the main event. And our it's constantly growing. And at the same time, we're not really looking to grow maybe so much wider when it comes to the audience and the amount of people that are coming, but we want to grow deeper and make more kind of meaningful conversations and networking happen.
Absolutely, yeah, and that sounds really amazing because yeah, I see the trend of some conferences sometimes trying to, grow a lot, but then it's very hard, it's very challenging to
Mhm.
maintain the quality of the conference. But I see that you guys are preferring, quality over quantity, and you're trying to.
Yeah. And I think that's something really important for us, and because I'm my job title is creative director, and one might ask himself, why does a startup festival need a creative director? But my background is from the theater and contemporary dance, and I really look at the whole festival like a choreography, and it's
Yeah.
really important that all the pieces and all the components come together. So for us, it's really important. We brief our partners that this is not your average conference. This is a place to do something different, not as corporate maybe as they're used to. We brief our speaker. This is the right place to leave your suit at home and high heels at home and dress a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah.
We try to do different things and different events and add a little bit of sparkle and Icelandic touch on everything. And I actually think this really delivers because the previous participants, they have all been very happy and they find this event very unique.
Wow, that's amazing. But here comes my next question. How has your different background, maybe like not very, traditional background for the people who are organizing these types of festivals, have helped you and the whole team to make this conference, this festival such a unique thing?
Well, I think it's just important for us to think a little bit outside the box. I think when it comes to conferences and startup events, there is maybe not such a big market. I mean, I believe every country should have at least one good event, and we want to be that very good event. And we are a small country, we are a small nation with a small market. We are a great sandbox. We are a great sandbox for testing out ideas, and there's a lot of creativity here, and we are very strong in some specific sectors, but we also have to be good in marketing ourselves and getting out of the sandbox. And I think this festival is supposed to be the perfect platform for that. And getting out of the sandbox, getting out of the box, I would say, is very important. And that's what we are really trying to do. So our site events, for example, we have everything on the scale of fun to serious. We have a Icelandic swimming pool party with one of the newest banks in Iceland called Indo. We have the Icelandic Patent Office talking about music copyrights with a lot of famous musicians during their side event. We have a ocean dip. We have sauna parties. There's a lot of swimming culture in Iceland. And next to that, we of course also have, panel discussions about innovation in the public sector or the energy sector. So I think it's important to look at all of these components. And then, of course, our 2-day program on site, I would say, is pretty impressive. We have very good fireside chats and panel discussions. We have a Love is Blind for where one founder is going to ask 3 investors that he doesn't see some blind questions. And then in the end, he's going to choose one to go on a date with. All these kind of fun components. It's a one big recipe for enjoyment.
Yeah, I actually had a look at the program of the event, and I was pretty impressed. Like, there's so much diversity, and even me, like, I'm coming there as a startup investigator, and I thought like it was like, oh, such an original thing that we're doing. But then I looked at the program. It's like, this is so amazing. It's like full of those original program elements that, like, I don't even know where I'm gonna go exactly. It's very hard
I
to
still
choose.
think Startup Investigator is a great part of the program, and I'm very excited to see. And your startup investigation is going to be in a greenhouse in the
Yeah.
main square of Reykjavik. So this is going to be very visible to everybody that passes by there every day. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for that too. But if we take a step back a little bit, and you told us that it's already fifth Iceland Innovation Week festival that you're organizing. So tell us about the evolvement of this event over the years. How did it start? And you said that it's going to be the biggest event yet you have done. So how has it evolved over the years?
Yeah, so we decided to start the company in 2020, and we had been prepping everything for 8 months, just like a startup, selling everybody our idea, pitching this to hundreds of companies, talking about this as a festival, and then COVID hits. And trying to start an event-driven company in COVID was quite the challenge. And we had no option. We just had to move everything online and do an online festival, which could not have been further from what we actually wanted to present the first year. We held a tiny little event in the Icelandic Center for Innovation that was still being built at that time. So we were in a construction area with the president of Iceland going on live TV because that's what we could do, and maybe 2-3 other people, and it was really crazy and very different. It's of course fun to tell people about it now because the festival has grown so much.
Yeah.
But the first couple of versions were mostly just online events, and we cheering for the team on Zoom after the festival. But then finally in 2022, I believe, we managed to really do the full-blown version. And it was so much fun. It was really fantastic to see the results. And I think me and my co-founder, it even surprised us because we had many foreign guests that came and they said, yeah, we've just been looking for an opportunity to come to Iceland and see what is happening here. And we were always just looking for this window and nobody really opened it until Iceland Innovation Week came up. But with that said, I also think it's important for us to be a part of the Nordics and to be emphasizing Nordic innovation as well, not only Icelandic innovation. And I think our geographical location at the moment is quite interesting because we get a very good ratio of European versus US guests to the festival. And of course, in the times that we live in, we'll see what happens. But at least for now, I think this is a very exciting platform for conversations about innovation. And I would say especially climate change, because Iceland is the place where you see the glaciers are disappearing, the sea levels are rising. And we really want to establish Iceland as a meeting point for people discussing climate change, but from the point of innovation and entrepreneurship, not from a point of destruction and what we have done, but more from a point of what we can do and what are the solutions driving it forward.
Oh, that's honestly very inspiring to hear. But you mentioned something very interesting about geographical location. And well, as you know, I live in Estonia, which is quite a small country, just like Iceland. And one of the advantages of being in a startup world here is that since it's quite small community, everybody is very supportive. So what can you tell us about Iceland in that sense, where other organizations like governmental organizations or maybe VCs or some accelerators supportive, or how did because it feels like a very much of a community event where I see like many different community players, local players, I mean, that are taking responsibility to promote event as much as they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, when we started the festival, we realized that there is no festival without the local partners.
Yeah.
Like we can do all the work we want, and we can do a great job of organizing an event. But if if the community here in Iceland is not with us, then there would be no festival. So that was the emphasis from the start, to try to kind of get everybody together. And that means the VCs, the startups, the ecosystem players, but also bigger institutions, the ministries, the city of Reykjavik, and big corporates also, because I think that is one of the special things that the festival also emphasizes. It is innovation within in larger companies. And I am always really excited about this part every year when we're partnering up with companies that are maybe not known for doing something innovative. And then we go to the meetings with them and they tell us this and this and this is happening. And I actually find this so exciting. And it's, of course, so important as well. And also talking about the sandbox, I think because we are such a small community, you know, the ways to communicate everything is so much simpler here in Iceland. But I really have to say there would not be a festival without this community and people taking part and partnering up with us.
Wow. But on the flip side, tell us about the challenges you've had to put together for all of these years, because Iceland Innovation Week, to me, right now, it feels like it's a very strong brand. And I believe, you know, there have been many challenges over those 5 years to, you know, bring it where it is right now. So tell us about that.
I mean, I will say probably 90% of our job throughout the year is networking. 90% of the job is contacting people, telling them about the festival, telling them who we are, selling them the concept, telling them to come over to Iceland. And we are constantly also grasping what comes first, the egg or the chicken. You know, the investors want to know which startups are coming. The startups want to know which investors are coming. LPs want to know which GPs are coming, and the corporates want to know which startups are coming. So we are always in this back and front game, trying to kind of tell people how great the event is without maybe even having secured, you know, speakers or audience. And it's a constant game of somehow making it work. So I would say that is our biggest challenge. I would also say, and I think this goes for all the festivals, I would say growing the festival, like we just discussed, without losing its integrity. That's really important for us. And I think that's why the partnerships are so important. The partnerships are really important because we don't want to go wild in ticket sales. We don't want to go wild selling 10,000 tickets. We really want to keep this a small and intimate event, because that's really kind of our unique value. And then I would, of course, say just bootstrapping, because startup events are not taking any investments, and we need to be very smart how we use our money, and bootstrapping in marketing. And I actually believe our marketing manager has done a fantastic job when it comes to this. Just, emphasizing our brand, being visible on social media, and just picking and choosing the right things to be visible in.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels like in marketing, that situation is very interesting because well, you do not have like a lot of resources to, utilize everything that you have. But at the same time, it also pushes you to be more creative to, establish the brand presence. So has there been anything like create in particular that you have been like impressed from your team that like, wow, we did it?
I I I think like what defines us a little bit in our festival is humor. Like
Yeah.
we use humor a lot in our marketing material, and I think that that catches people. And for me, social media is such a jungle, and it's so difficult to kind of navigate. And that's why I'm very thankful that we have a marketing manager that can. But I think creating your unique voice and using humor, and then talking again about the community, asking people to share, to all the partners to share, all the speakers to share. This really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Now let's talk about the most exciting aspects of running this event for you personally. You've been doing this for the past 5 years. I see, you're very passionate about this topic. So what have been the most exciting aspects for you?
So I think when we started the event, I think one of the things that I wanted to do was to create something that was different from other conferences. And again, coming back to my background from the theater world, I wanted to create something that was a little bit more like going to the theater. I think it's very important for startup events to reinvent themselves and not do the same things over and over again. So I wanted to take what is actually working and then bring my own touch on top of it. So Wednesday, which is our day one, is packed with panel discussions and fireside chats. There will be booths on site. And there we kind of use a little bit more the traditional approach to conferences, even though we, of course, try to bring the most exciting topics and subjects and so forth. But Thursday, which is our second day of the festival, is entirely dedicated to the climate. And for that, we have created an event that is very unique on a startup festival scale, and it's called OK Bye, and we call it a climate theater. It's named after the first Icelandic glacier to disappear, called Ok. So it's a play with words, and in this event, it's a 3-hour event. It starts at 9 in the morning. You come, you sit down, you turn off your phone. It's 3 hours with a break in between, and you just sit and listen. And we have incredible founders on stage, incredible investors, and amazing policymakers that come, and we weave it into a whole theatrical show with Icelandic artists, actors, musicians. We have a set design. We create a different world every year. So last year, our set design was a recycling center, and everything was about waste. The year before that, our theme was the ocean, so we created an Icelandic ocean front. This year, our theme is going to be science, so guests are going to step into a white laboratory, and our host, which is a very famous Icelandic improv actor, he's going to welcome everybody to his laboratory. So we will have all the founders and all the speakers are going to, dress in white and come into this. And we will have choirs, we will have musicians that will emphasize basically what's happening. And I believe this is a very good event for people to actually listen to what is being said. So this is not only done for the fun of it, but it's actually done so people listen and take something from what's being said and what we want to accomplish.
Wow. So you're basically taking the whole sort of like this, let's say, conference vibes and putting it into the actual play. That's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
exactly.
cannot wait.
And we create the script. And we have been doing rehearsals now all last week with the actor and the set designers and the musicians. And we brief the speakers. We always tell them, hey, this is not a normal conference, so be prepared. Sometimes we have to write them and ask, hey, is it okay that you will have a 20-person female choir sitting on stage during your keynote? but everybody has always been fine with it. People have been so welcoming to this concept, and it has really gained a lot of attention. And I think by now people know the drill, and everybody's very excited about this part of the program.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've been saying this, past couple of years. As much as I love going to all the startup events, I mean, all of them tend to look the same.
Exactly.
And that's something that is very unique that we need right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
So thank you very
And
much for doing it.
oh, that's so nice. Thank you for saying that. And I think we, like me personally, I want to compare ourselves to, I would love to compare us for a music festival or
Yeah.
a design festival, not another startup festival. So Iceland Airwaves, for example, is the biggest music festival here in Iceland, and it's great. It's 20 years old and it continues to reinvent itself. And it started, it's been always been going on in small bars and pubs because we don't have any huge concert halls that are affordable for small artists that are just starting. And you could 10 years ago you could walk into a tiny bar and you could see the biggest stars of the future perform in front of 50 people. And I think this is also something that I'm always taking for our festival. I would like you to be able to walk into a tiny office and see the founder of the next unicorn company talk in a very small, intimate setup, just like you could do at Iceland Airways with musicians.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing. I honestly can't wait. But I know that it takes like a big, great quality team to put together something like that. So tell us about that. How big is Iceland Innovation Week team, and what roles do you divide within the
So we
organization?
are we are 6 girls at the moment, and me and my co-founder, we were just two when we started the company. And we had been previously working together at the biggest ecosystem player here in Iceland. And we had been running these accelerators and hackathons and business competitions. And this is kind of how I got into the startup environment, because until then I had been doing my own theater and dance performances and touring abroad. But there was something that I found so fascinating about this world and learning about the future, and it's very good for your climate anxiety, I think, to go into innovation because you see people that are actually trying to solve problems. Um, so we started just the two of us, and then, as with any other festivals, you always need volunteers to come in, and we have actually gathered almost all of the teams. All of our team, they started as volunteers, finishing their business or marketing studies, and now they're just a fully part of our team for 3-4 years. So almost from the start, and I'm really proud of the fact that we just have the same staff. And because I think this is so unusual for festivals and these startup events, you're always getting new people in and out, and so much knowledge gets lost. But with us, it's always the same team. We have a marketing manager, we have an event manager, a program manager, and international relations manager. So and then us, the founders, and we kind of fly between all these different zones and do a little bit of festival fundraising and investor relations and artistic direction somewhere in between. But I mean, of course, I can say right now it's a game of being able to juggle 100 different things between all of us for the team. But it's also great and it's also fun.
It is fun, yeah. It sounds like a lot of fun. Um, yeah, and do you still have this option for people to join as volunteers? Or it's just like those 6 people are
No,
preparing everything?
we have plenty of volunteers that are coming right now, and we are
Yes.
open for more volunteer applications. So people can always sign up, and I think it's such a good way to see,
Yeah.
because you get like the best cuts of all the startup ecosystem at this festival. And we have a founders day for founders, for everybody that has a startup has, with great workshops that are taking place the day before our main program. And parallel to that, we have an investor day for all our investors, and we are taking them whale watching. And we try to use a little bit of Iceland as well with the
Yeah.
festival. And I mean, I think the most important thing is the networking and creating relations. And And honestly, it doesn't really matter if you do that at a conference event or a whale watching boat, as long as the relation is established and you get something out of it. And I think that our biggest kind of measurement of success of the festival is when you hear about startups getting funding from investors that attended the festival or they met at the festival. I think that's for us is the best record of success.
Absolutely, and then you can see the actual impact you're making, and
Exactly.
it must feel amazing.
That makes it worth it.
Absolutely. And now let's talk about this year's event specifically. I know we mentioned a lot about, the program and the exciting theater setup that you have that everybody's very excited about, me in particular. But let's specifically talk about this year. What should visitors expect from this year's event?
I think there will be a lot of things happening, and because, like I mentioned, we are small. We don't have these huge venues that can accommodate 5 different stages. I think things will be happening all over town. So we have a great restaurant downtown Reykjavik that's opening its doors for our founder stage. So at this restaurant, we're gonna for one day just take everything out, put up a stage, and you can walk from our main festival venue over the street and listen to the founders' keynotes. I am very excited actually about that. We have all kinds of things happening in Kolaportið, and we also have just brilliant side events happening all over town. So I would really also encourage people to check the festival program and try to just sign up for as much as possible. We don't have an AI networking app this year. We just decided to scrap it. We had been using it, but we said it's too much AI happening right now in the world.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to human communication. So we have a designated networking area, which is actually an old police station that's not being
Really?
used anymore downtown. It's just next to our main venue. It even has a prison cell and everything. So in this police station, we're going to do serendipity sessions where people from different sectors can come and see each other. It's going to be thematic sessions. So if you're interested in fintech or climate tech, you can come at different times and meet like-minded people. And me and my team will of course be running around. We have the podcast that's going to be in the greenhouse. We have bars in the neighborhoods that are going to host different types of events for different corporates. So I think we're going to have a sauna outside as well, and we will of course have our fermented Shark Tank pitch competition. So there will be, I would guarantee there will be something for everybody.
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly the impression I got from, I was obviously I follow you guys on social media, and I've been, logging into this like Vuma dashboard
Yes.
that you have,
Yeah.
and there's so much happening, and so many different activities that, as I said in the beginning, it's almost like it's impossible to choose where you want to go. So that's what makes it so exciting.
FOMO. That's great. Creating
Yeah.
FOMO is the key.
But if I may ask, which of those original concepts are your personal favorite? If you were coming there, like me, from Estonia, never been to Iceland, and you were coming to Iceland Innovation Week, which one of those side events or events would you prioritize to go to?
I mean, I would always prioritize, if it would be the main program, I would prioritize the Occupy Day and the Okie Dokie afternoon sessions after that, which are climate-focused sessions as well. But honestly, for me, it is just so difficult to choose because I would say Wednesday has incredible talks as well with incredible people. I would just say the FOMO is real, and everybody has to kind of decide for himself. Try to get in some swimming pool sessions, some sauna sessions, and let's just create this intimate gathering of people that want to do something fun together and hopefully build meaningful connections that will last and turn into something that makes the world better, to be a bit cliche, but that's of course the big aim.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for taking time to come to our episode. I have one last question. So, as the main creator of this event and the creative director, what would be your advice to anyone, founders, investors, anyone that is coming to Iceland Innovation Week? 2025? How should they prepare for it to get the most out of it?
I would say prepare by looking at the events. I mean, I really love our event calendar this year because it's so nice. There are different tags on everything. It's the festival's biggest nightmare is always presenting our events so that people understand the program. So I would say take time to go over the program, sign up for all the events because they go then into your calendar and it's so little work. When you sign up to the events, you can also see who is attending. You can send the person a message, and that's like the best homework you can do. You can check our festival guide to see the startups that are going, the investors that are going. Homework is always good when you're going to startup festivals. So do your homework. That's my advice.
Do your homework and see you on Iceland Innovation Week on Wednesday.
Yes.
Ta-da! Okay, thank you very much, and I really can't wait to come to the event and see you in person.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for listening. See you next time.